I'm autistic, and 865 days ago, I fumbled one of the most beautiful girls that I'd ever asked out. Cause we matched on Hinge, right? And we hit it off, and then made plans to grab a drink. But then I mentioned that I was autistic, and she almost immediately made an excuse for why she had to cancel. And this wasn't the first time that this had happened to me either. I've fumbled numerous wonderful girls who really liked me until I scared them off in exactly this way. Cause I used to make a point of telling girls about this supposed weakness I had of having autism, and I'm not really sure why I did that. First impressions are powerful, and when you lead with your challenges, people not only associate you with them, they decide that you're not very confident either. Which is an absolute crying shame. Weird people like us carry massive amounts of collective genius. Genius that often gets ignored when we trip over ourselves just begging to be tolerated. And apologizing for ourselves in hopes that people will give us leeway or understand us better doesn't just not work, it holds us back from being taken seriously. One thing you can do instead of this is finding things that you really love about yourself and focusing on them when it comes time to talk about you. Because most people will enjoy hearing about your passions and ambitions and endeavors. But nobody that you want to date is looking to hear about your insecurities, especially not on the first few dates. Look, if you're anything like me, there's no hiding that you're a little unusual. But names are powerful. Until a girl has a label to latch onto for how you're weird, you're just kind of quirky. But once you call it autism, she'll spend more time asking herself, do I really want to date an autistic guy? You can be the most charming and suave guy she's ever met and still give her doubts by making a thing out of your condition. Cause it goes from being eccentric to a clinical diagnosis, and that's a big step down in terms of how dateable you seem. Now I realize this sounds a bit rich coming from the guy who starts all his videos by saying, I'm autistic, which is part of why I made this video. The things I say and do to make a point on social media do not work very well in real life, and it's important that you understand that. I don't just go around starting every conversation I have with, I'm autistic, and if I did, I wouldn't have come nearly as far as I have. I had to learn how to adjust my messaging when getting to know people, because when people get to know me, they generally like me, and I bet that's true of you too. Because at the end of the day, autists have the capacity for so much love and joy and happiness. But a lot of that is contingent on marketing ourselves well as people. So gentlemen, and some ladies, I'm going to encourage you to put your best foot forward as you go forth and conquer. I really do love you guys. Fritz Johnson, signing off.